Hello everyone, we will explain about belligerent and insurgent. First, introduce ourselves. First one, my name is Dwi Kriswanto. My name 13123000106, and my friends.
My name is Darves Faizi Rabbani Rahman, NIM 131230079.
My name is Haris Anika Gita. My name 131230099.
Belligerent and insurgent are two categories of the rebel group in the context of international law, which have important difference regarding their status as subject of international law. Number one, insurgent. An insurgent is a group of rebels who resist the ruling government but have not yet met certain criteria to be recognized internationally as a belligerent, and they actually do not yet have organized structure, territory, or recognized from other country. And then insurgents do not automatically become subject of international law and do not have right and obligation recognized internationally. Next, belligerent. Belligerent is a group of rebels that has reached a certain level of order and power. This recognized as a subject of international law. To be recognized as a belligerent, a rebel group must meet several requirements, and including having its own organized government that is orderly and responsible for its member, effectively for its member territory or de facto control, having a military force with adequate uniform and military equipment, and then complying with the law of war, including the protection of civilians, and a clear distinction between combat and civilians, and obtaining recognized from the country of origin or a third country as a party in conflict, or some recognize of belligerency, and then with that recognized belligerent have a legal personality as subject of international law, which means they have international grade and obligation, can enter into agreement, make legal claim, and have a legitimate combination status on armed conflict. Legal implication. Number one, belligerents have a higher status than insurgents because they are recognized as having international legal capacity. Number two, however, the status of a belligerent is not the same as the status of a sovereign state. They have certain right and obligation. Under international law, especially international humanitarian law, but do not have full sovereign like a state. The next term, insurgent and belligerent in international law, originate from the historical development of armed conflict and uprising against the ruling government. Insurgent refers to a group of rebels who resist but do not yet have an organized structure. Internationally recognized, this group is still considered an ordinary rebel group without any special legal status. At the international level, on the other hand, the term belligerent emerged with the development of international humanitarian law, governing armed conflict, especially after the establishment of the Geneva Convention of 1949. Belligerent is a group of insurgents that has achieved a level organized order, effectively control of a certain territory, and possess adequate military capability, making them worthy of recognized as subject of international law. This recognized grant them certain right and obligation under international law, particularly concerning legal protection during armed conflict. Thus, a belligerent is an advanced stage of an insurgent that arises as a consequence of the need for international law to regulate parties in internal conflict legally and humanely.
Legal basis of belligerence and insurgent international law. In international law, the concept of belligerent and insurgent determine the legal status of armed group in conflict. This classification affairs their rights, obligation, and treatment under international humanitarian law or ICCL. Below is detailed discussion of their legal foundation. Belligerence is a party state or non-state actor recognized of lawful participant in armed conflict, granting them specific rights, responsibilities under IHL. Legal basis: Hague Convention in 1907 regulates the conduct of war and neutrality. Geneva Convention in 1949 and Additional Protocol in 1977 govern protection of war victims, including combatants and prisoners of war or POWs. Customary international law recognized by state practice and the International Court of Justice (ICJ). Next condition for belligerent status: substance, armed conflict or large-scale hostilities, territorial control by non-state group, organized military structure capable of complying with ICL, recognition explicit or implicit by state or international bodies. Implication of belligerent status: combatant immunity cannot be prosecuted for lawful acts of war, POW status if captured, protected under Geneva Convention 3, rights to engage in hostilities under IHL. Modern relevance: historically applied in civil war, the American Civil War, Spanish Civil War. Rarely used today, most conflicts are classified as non-international armed conflict or NIACs. Next, insurgent. As insurgent group is a rebel force engaged in armed resistance against government but lacks recognition as a belligerent. They operate under domestic law and limited IHL protection. Legal basis: Common Article of the Geneva Convention, minimum protection in NIACs. Additional Protocol in 1977 applies to organized non-state group in NIACs. Domestic law, counterterrorism or rebellion stages. Key characteristic: combat privilege can be tried under national law. No automatic POW status unless conflict escalates to belligerency. Protection under IHL only if conflict meet NIACs 3 threshold: intensity and organization. Examples of insurgents: FARC in Colombia before peace agreement, Taliban in Afghanistan pre-2021 takeover, Naxalites in India treated as militant under domestic law. Comparison belligerents and insurgents. Legal recognition in belligerent recognized under IHL and insurgent not formally recognized. Combat status, yes. Belligerent is under POW protection and insurgent unless NIAC applies. Applicable law, Geneva Convention and Hague laws, and insurgent common Article 3 and Protocol 2, conflict types, international or large-scale civil war, insurgent, non-international in conflict. Examples: Confederate States in belligerent in 1961 until 1965, and insurgent ISIS in Syria treated as terrorists. Conclusion: belligerent is a formal status granting war rights but is rarely recognized today. Insurgency is more common, limited IHL protection under NIAC rules. The distinction offer prisoner treatment, lawful targeting, and accountability. The Papua Organization OPM considered a belligerent or insurgent group. The Free Papua Organization OPM or Organisasi Papua Merdeka is classified insurgent group because under international law and does not qualify as belligerent. Below is the legal analysis why the OPM is an insurgent, not belligerent. First, fails to meet belligerent criteria. No international recognition as legitimate party in armed conflict, lacks stable territorial control. OPM operates as a guerrilla movement without holding significant territory. Low intensity conflict, the fighting does not reach the threshold of a full-scale war. 2. Considered a non-international armed conflict, NIAC. The conflict between OPM and Indonesia falls under common Article 3 of Geneva Convention, minimum protection in civil war. Additional protocol in 1977 does not full apply because OPM lacks a well-structured military command. 3. Legitimate legal protection. OPM fighters do not have combatant immunity. If captured, they can be prosecuted under Indonesian law, anti-terrorism, or treason laws. Not entitled to prisoner of war (POW) status under the Geneva Convention. 4. Treated as an armed separatist movement by Indonesia. The Indonesian government designates OPM as an illegal armed group, terrorist organization, not legitimate warring party. Conclusion: OPM does not qualify as belligerent due to lack of recognition and low conflict intensity. It is an insurgent group in non-international armed conflict (NIAC) with minimal IHL protection. Indonesia has the legal rights to prosecute OPM members under domestic law since there are not lawful combatants. If OPM gains international recognition and territorial control, it's like the Taliban pre-2021, its status could change. However, currently it remains as insurgent movement.
GRIB, also known as a group of local and rebel in Indonesia, show no indication that it has met the requirement to be recognized as a belligerent under international law. Therefore, GRIB is more accurately categorized as an insurgent or a rebel group that has not yet achieved belligerent status. They do not automatically fall into ethic category. They are more ethically classified as an insurgent, not belligerent, because they have not met the criteria for recognition as belligerent under international law. The resolution of the case of the OPM and GRIB is carried out with different advocates according to the character and context of each conflict. The OPM case, which of a separatist conflict in Papua, requires a comprehensive advocate that combines political dialogue, reconciliation, and socio-economic development. The Indonesian government has considered granting amnesty and abolition to certain parties as part of reconciliation effort. Will the Papua Human Rights Commission encourage the formation of a special team to address human rights violation that occur? Although law enforcement against armed group is still being carried out, peaceful dialogue involving various parties is considered the best way to achieve a just and definite peace in Papua. Meanwhile, the resolution of the GRIB case, which is more related to conflict between mass organization and actors, is generally carried out through law enforcement by the police and judicial process against members who commit violation. Conflict between mass organizations like a group are also often resolved through peace agreement violation by local government, although sporadic clashes still occur. Thus, the resolution of the OPM case placed more emphasis on political dialogue and reconciliation, while the GRIB case prioritizes law enforcement and social regulation to maintain public order.
Okay, thank you for listening to our explanation. We apologize if there are any wrong words. And once again, I say thank you for everyone for listening. Thank you.